The Showdown is not meant to cause offense or harm. The viewer acknowledges any reliance on the accuracy or completeness of said content should be done at their own discretion. The host apologizes in advance for any affront as a result of personal attacks.
Rob Parker is a regular on the Showdown, but I think you're on short rest. We're bringing you back a little earlier this week. You're going to be okay, Rob? You can go do your full innings? You're going to be all right?
BK, I got 7 innings strong for you. Don't worry about
Let's
it.
go. What about the 8th and 9th? You need the 8th and 9th, too. Are you going short on me?
I'm going to go short. I can't do a complete game. No.
These days, 7 is enormous. All right, Rob, I'm interested in your take here. You're the guy who called the bigger bases pizza boxes. That's a good job by you. Where are you on Torpedo Bats?
I'm good with Torpedo Bats. In fact, I think it's one of the best things that's happened to baseball. I mean, look at all the chatter and conversation that was stirred up by it. I mean, I do a national sports talk radio show. People were calling in crazy. Just about the Torpedo Bats. That was good for the game.
Casual fans too, Rob, right? Like, by the way, I'm with you on this. We are not arguing on it. Casual, that's the thing too. It's like, like my wife was asking about, what's with these bats? Are people going to get hurt? Are there going to be more home runs? Like, people are suddenly very into it.
100%. And here's the thing. I mean, I know the Brewers were belly aching, at least some of the pitchers, and I take issue with it because maybe it's just bad pitching because Aaron Judge hit 4 home runs and he didn't use the torpedo bat. So it doesn't mean that automatically you use a torpedo bat and you're all of a sudden Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron or something like that. So I love it. If baseball says it's legal, let guys use it and do what they can do.
Exactly. By the way, like the batting average is still around 240. We could use a little more offense if that does it. And I guess you can't come up with a better name. It's already Torpedo Bats, right? Like the pizza boxes, you want another level. But how are you going to go another level on Torpedo Bats?
Yeah, I don't know if I have one in my chamber for that one. I think we're pretty good.
Rob, Braves lose again last night. They're 0-6. Jurickson Profar fails a drug test. He's out. How cooked are the Braves?
They're not cooked. As you know, teams have bounced back from bad starts. We could go back to last year. I think it was the Astros that started 7-18, and they made the playoffs. A number of years back, I remember the Twins got off to a bad start, something like 9-20 or 9-18. And again, they wound up winning 96 games that year.
However, Rob, you're right. You're being very tempered on this. You're correct. However, the Phillies are in the division. The Mets are in the division. And then they're going to be battling a wild card that could be the Padres or Giants on the other side. There's a lot of good teams. Can they afford to drop this far back? I think I think that's the trouble. I think they're in a bit of trouble, that kind of trouble.
No, I get it, but I still think baseball, as you know, I know it's a cliche, BK. It's a marathon. And if you think the season is won in the first week or 10 days, come on, that's just not baseball. This is not the Detroit Tigers 35-5, and they played, 500 the rest of the way. But you know what I mean? I'm saying, like, baseball, you'll have your streaks and you'll have your dead spots. I'm not going to bury the Braves. They have a really good team, and I think they'll be in the mix. The Mets haven't lit the NL East on fire. What are they, 2-3 to start? I mean, they're not out of the woods, not yet.
By the way, I love that Rob just drops in a 1984 reference in there. It's very Mad Dog of you. I appreciate that. The wire-to-wire Tigers. All right, Jackson Merrill gets a big contract extension. You did a drop-in, as it turns out, on top 10 right now for our center fielder top 10 with me. You missed the boat on him. I had him number 1. You had him number 9. That's a bad job by you.
Well, in this case, I think I told you my reasoning was that it was just a rookie 1 year, and I want a little more. I want more in the resume, and I don't blame the Padres for cashing him out. You know this, BK. It only costs you more money the longer you wait.
That's right.
And if you believe you got something special, pay the guy now, and you'll get him way cheaper than if you wait. So the Padres
Make him
are
rich
smart.
now. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm not saying he's a
But
bad.
you're not quite sold. No, I get it. But you weren't quite sold. I thought I saw, like, a special player, and not just the results, but we've been talking about with Alex Avila. D-Row was talking about it earlier. There is something very smooth and a good action and instincts on this kid all around that just, it says winner moving forward.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that, but I don't crown people after 1 or 2 years in baseball. we have seen people. Can I bring up an old name? And I'm not saying that he's Joe Charbonneau, but Joe Charbonneau was Rookie of the Year in the American League.
Joe Charbonneau. You're consistent. You pump the brakes. That's your expression. Pump the brakes on Ellie De La Cruz. Eventually, you're going to have to just not hit the brakes on him. But early on, you pump the brakes. All right, last thing. Padres, Dodgers still unbeaten. Where are you on the NL West?
I still like the Padres. I know the Dodgers look unbeatable, but last year,
did you pick the Padres at the start? No, last year the Padres had them dead and somehow let them, live on and win a title. But did you pick the Padres at the start of this year?
I did. I picked the Padres to win. I have the Padres going to the World Series, in fact.
Okay. That's a different thing. That's a different thing. Like, Rob, in the playoffs, Dodgers get knocked down in the first round. It's easy. It happens. But winning the West, see, I would say, as good as the Padres look right now, the Dodgers are a monster. I got to go Dodgers in the West. I disagree with you on that.
But BK, they haven't run away. If you start 7-0 and you haven't even separated yourself from the division, it tells you that you're in for a battle because you can't play 1,000 ball the rest of the way.
The other guys can't do it either. Where's your math on this?
But to be that close after a 7-0 start and you have a 1-game lead.
I don't think the Dodgers are so crazy deep. I don't think they're discouraged. Last year was the year to pick them off, and they won the title. They won a measly 98 games. This year it's going to be a bigger number. But I appreciate that. You go out on a limb. Again, you don't ground out weak to short. You take a big swing, and sometimes you're Joe DiMaggio, sometimes you're Joey Gallo. I get it.
And I'll give you one more. I know you got Ellie De La Cruz as your National League MVP. Yep. I know you were feeling good the night before when he had the home runs and the 4 for 5.
Torpedo.
And then yesterday, of course.
Okay. Yeah. And he made the last out. Does that make you feel better? All right. I'll let you get a win here or there. You get enough in your time. Rob, good stuff. We'll see you again. Wolves. Baseball plays of the day. Alex Avila, Steve Phillips are here. How about this? We'll start this story from Keegan Matheson of MLB.com. Manager Schneider said self-funded a Blue Jays bunting competition. John Schneider telling the media that the Blue Jays had a bunting competition in spring training, divided the guys up into 2 teams. Winning team got $1,000 of his dollars, his own money.
It's a manager putting his money where his mouth is.
Yeah. So he wanted to incentivize the troops. It seems like he did this. Paid off last night. Here we go. Second inning. Will Wagner will be bunting. Bunted pretty well. It's a second inning, though. Alex, we good with this?
Yeah, I mean, whatever works to be able to put yourself in a position to score the runs to win the game.
It was bunting for a hit there. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to get on base.
And then the 8th inning, this is different. Man on, drops the bunt out. It's Wagner again. Everything works there. Could not make the play. Ernie Clement, another bunt from there. So he gives himself up, but it leads to Bo Bichette.
I watched a lot of Blue Jays last year. They did not do the little things, so the big things would matter. The little things yesterday, bunting them over, getting on base, and then Bo Bichette coming up clutch.
They've had a hard time the last few years about getting guys in from third base with less than 2 outs. That situation coming through.
Usually we don't beat guys up for making physical errors. That just happens. But unbaseball plays, we use awareness. And there is a choice being made here. Infielders going to the outfield. Let's start with Jose Altuve. That's not the worst play I've ever seen, Alex. But where are you on Altuve in left field?
No, you know what? It's still a work in progress. I mean, for me, he looks okay there. And that play in particular, I mean, he's busting his butt to get down the line to be able to try to cut that ball off. I've seen outfielders that play their whole lives in the outfield make the same play right there and end up whiffing on the ball.
He's had a few things, though. Like, again, this isn't bad, but he's had a few things.
That's an infielder's backhand right there, and they moved him out of second base. It's almost like being a second baseman. Didn't make the play, but yeah, he's had a few things, and there's some growing pains, but they could cost you games.
Now, O'Neal Cruz, different story. He's had a lot of issues out there. Now, again, that's just a simple flub. It happens, but he's had a bunch of them. Alex, where are you on O'Neal Cruz in center?
Well, right here, I mean, you can just see it. He's just kind of, cruising to the ball. I'm going to need to see a little bit more effort there. He takes his eye off the ball, but right when that ball's hit, when you have a guy on base like that, you have to be getting after that ball.
What does he have in his mouth?
I don't know what he has in his mouth, but I mean, if he wants to stick out there, I'm going to need to see a little bit more effort there. He should have been. He needs to be going after that ball. And all he did there was take his eye off the ball for a split second with the base runner moving. But
and it could be that he's just uncertain of himself out there, so he's sort of tiptoeing through everything because he doesn't want to make mistakes. So I'm with you. You got to be aggressive, go get it.
But he's missed cutoff men.
He has drop fly balls. But you think about Jackson Merrill, the way he plays, he just smoothly goes after everything because he's comfortable doing it. Yeah. Both Altuve and O'Neal Cruz look very uncomfortable in the outfield.
But it brings up the point. At a certain point, the ball club should make a call then. Like if it's unfair, like Jazz Chisholm. It's like it was kind of unfair to expect, he could play center field. He couldn't.
Right.
To put a guy in that position.
Right. I mean, at some point, especially if it's going to cost you games, because every game you lose right now is one you got to try to make up later, especially in these tough divisions.